Classics and Turf, it returns for its second Durban season, and it brings the unmistakable harmonies of Ladysmith Black Mambazo, rising from KwaZulu Natal Philharmonic Orchestra, where the pairing feels, destined, as Isicathamiya carries stories in quiet footwork, voices laid with architecture as well, and the orchestra then gives the story room to expand and to breathe, and the sound to just gain a new register. I'm not the expert. Conductor, curator Kutlwano Masote is here, known for his deep dialogue in this as well, and is going to unpack this a little bit further. Good morning, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Liesl, and I think that's a really, really beautiful introduction. You really couched this conversation.
Our producers really went into trying to get the nuances of what this means, because we're trying to imagine the vision, right? Yeah. Isicathamiya versus classical music, Ladysmith Black Mambazo, their legacy project in itself, our own country. Yeah. You need to tell us the imagining of it and why 2026 becomes such a good juncture for this to come.
Yeah, so I've spent a lifetime trying to create spaces for these dialogues to happen. If you think of a country with a richness of language, richness of culture like ours, it only makes sense for us to want to reach out to each other and talk a little bit more, to say, show me a little bit about why your violin is strung this way, by way of example. So this has been a long conversation. Ladysmith Black Mambazo actually did an album called No Boundaries in 2003, which was Grammy nominated with the English Chamber Orchestra. So it's not the first time that they're doing this, but the group's also evolved rather, and as have we all. So what I'm trying to do, because I'm doing 10 fresh orchestrations in this project, is to take the Ladysmith Black Mambazo sound of today and try and then bring it into this concert hall setting, if you like.
Yes, it's going to take us down memory lane as well. You know, the history of the music itself, what it's done for our own country in liberation, and then you combine it with classical music as well. So talk to us about that storytelling element that also goes into it.
Sure. I mean, as you know, as you quite rightly say, they're a big part of our history, especially post-democracy. Yeah. They've continued to tell our story. They travel a lot, by the way. To get them to perform in Johannesburg, you have to plan 3 years in advance. So they are, in a sense, the voice still of South Africa, and to match them with an orchestra and look for those colors, I think it enhances their music as much as it enhances our tradition of symphonic music. So that's the idea behind it. And the music, I mean, if you just go on Google or YouTube and try and find Ladysmith Black Mambazo, you'll see them performing with everyone from DJs to kwaito stars to amapiano, and also the traditional Isicathamiya, which is in itself an unaccompanied or an a cappella tradition. So it's traversing that whole myriad of musical styles and musical colors.
It must be nostalgic for you as well, in a full circle moment, because if you see them performing live as a young boy and now you get to, be part of this endeavor, this is I don't know, the goosebumps are goosing, I don't know.
I'm giving away my age now. When I was just about a teenager, just becoming a teenager, there was a TV series, I think it was in 1987, called Shaka Zulu, and they did the soundtrack for the opening and closing. So that was the first time I became aware of them. Fast forward another 10 or 15 years, I hear them in London, something that I wrote about also in my memoir. And then in 2006, almost exactly 20 years ago, I became a professional conductor. What's my first concert? Conducting Ladysmith Black Mambazo and the music of Todd Machikiza in the same concert. So for me, it's come full circle. It's this voice, in a sense, that's been calling me to come and work with them. And this time, not just as a conductor, but being entrusted with treating their music into an orchestral fold.
Absolutely. It's a reverence and it's sacred as well. I mean, I'm looking at the own role that the SABC would have played. It's 90 years as well.
Yeah.
The platforms, right, to hear such endeavors. This is also part of the magic you've got to collide with over the years.
You know, SABC obviously holds the biggest archive of any sort in South Africa. Yeah. I'm sure there are recordings here that never even saw the light of day, but still sitting somewhere in a storeroom. So and of course, there used to be a full-time orchestra here. Now, these conversations were not naturally happening at the time, but now we have the chance to retell our story, and this is part of why I'm so in love with what I do, because every day presents a new opportunity to take this country to a place where perhaps we didn't envisage.
Absolutely. And remember where we come from, to know where we're headed as well. I mean, there's a lot of songs you have to sift through. So I don't know where you start as well. Stylistically, also, what's the most challenging part about this vision?
So the most challenging thing I'll tell you is, even when you reference a recording, they sing beautifully in tune, which is great. but they take liberties in terms of a strict meter of music. And I guess that's part of the appeal of performing a cappella. So now we're going to have this regiment called a conductor and an orchestra that we're going to have to work with, which of course they'll nail. But that's the first thing, to find which songs that the orchestra is not going to interfere or to impose on the music already as it is. As I mentioned, Isicathamiya is an unaccompanied, an a cappella style. So one has to also tread carefully as to how you bring the orchestra in. So I was given a short list, of course, bearing in mind that there were already 10 or 12 songs that were already done in 2003 for No Boundaries. So the songs that I'm doing now are Hello My Baby, Diamonds on the Heels of Her Shoes, Izinto Zabantu, Lelungelo Lako, and so forth. I'm doing 10 in total, but it's all the favorites that will be heard for the first time with an orchestra.
And it's happening in Durban. I know venues play an important role as well, just how the sound is captured. So if it's in Zimbabwe, just tell us how people best prepare for this emotional journey.
So the reason we're even having a conversation is because I'm part of something called Classics on Turf, where we bring the athleticism of golf and merge that with music. So it's a golf day culminating in a concert.
Yes.
And the concert's going to be at Zimbabwe Capital Hotel and Spa. So we're in the hotel and we'll build a stage, of course. And the KZN Philharmonic Orchestra, always love working with them, and with Ladysmith Black Mambazo. And tickets are at Web Tickets, 14th of August, so that's not this coming Friday, but the Friday after. Okay. And tickets at Web Tickets. You can either do golf and music, or golf alone, or music alone, or music and golf. But please come to the concert because you'll hear an amazing performance.
Kutlwano, thank you for your time. Wishing you all the best of luck as you bring that magic alive again. Thank you for joining us here. That's how we wrap up season. Conductor Kutlwano Masote talking to us about the classics on turf. It's happening on the 14th of August there. Quite the magical affair that she's spoken to.